Hi there, my name is Leah and today I'm going to be guiding you through a restorative yoga practice. Since we're at home, I want you to find a pillow or something soft that you can use as a prop. In yoga, this is a bolster. It's a little firmer. When I practice at home, I like to grab a pillow from the couch because that tends to have a little bit more body to it than a pillow that you might grab from a bed. So grabbing something that is going to be soft to lay on and use as a support, but isn't going to completely flatten when you put your body weight on it. Throughout this practice, paying attention to what your body needs. Everything is just a suggestion, and make sure that it feels good in your practice. And then the last reminder is that we're going to use what's called a sinking breath. So we're going to inhale, hold it for a second, and then exhale. And trying to exhale for just a little bit longer than your inhale. If you're counting your breath and that helps you focus in and be present in your practice, you could maybe count to 4 when you inhale and maybe 5 or 6 as you exhale. As it is comfortable for you, you could extend that exhale, but making sure it feels good in your body and really letting your body let go of tension with that exhale will emphasize the restorative nature of this practice. We're going to begin by finding a big chest stretch. For some people, finding a butterfly feet position is comfortable. For others, it might feel good to have your legs straight. I'm going to show a hip opening option with the butterfly, and then I'm going to lie back, resting my spine on my pillow, and I'm going to open my arms up. If you find that your arms are lifted very high, you could choose to put something under your arms so that they're not hanging. We do want some support for the arms. And then whether the arms are higher or lower is personal. Lower is going to be a little bit less tension on the chest. Higher is going to provide a greater stretch for the chest. Once we find ourselves here, bringing our awareness to our breath. As we inhale, doing so through the nose, expanding the belly, and exhale. In today's practice, you can choose whether you want to exhale through your mouth or your nose, but again, emphasizing that long exhale. With every consecutive breath cycle, we want to notice that our arms are becoming closer to the mat, to the floor. Noticing how we're letting go of the tension across the front of our body. It is recommended that you close your eyes during this practice. It's hard to quiet our minds when we're intaking information through our eyes, so closing your eyes can help you quiet the external noise that isn't conducive to your practice. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. After this next breath cycle, just slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring your feet to the mat and then using your hands to lift yourself up gently. We're going to reach around and bring our pillow around to the front, and we're going to slide it under our legs. Depending on the comfort and the stretch that you're looking for, you could choose to have your pillow flat, or if you're looking for a little bit more sensation, you could take it up to a side, and your feet might hang if you have short limbs. But we're going to inhale, reaching up, and exhale, folding over our legs. As we find ourselves here, we're going to feel our breath through the back of our body. So as we inhale, feeling the back of our rib cage expand, and then exhale, folding a little deeper. If you want to make a little more space for your midsection, you could take your knees wider, just like we would in a child's pose. So taking those knees wider might be a little more comfortable for your body. And you can always bind by grabbing grabbing onto your feet if you want a little more sensation. Finding 2 more breath cycles. Inhaling fully and completely. Exhale, getting everything you can out of this stretch. Finding 1 more breath cycle. And then carefully getting out of the pose. Slowly lifting yourself up, using hands to support as you need. And we're going to slide our bolster over to the left side of our mat. And we're actually bring it to the front first, but it's going to go there next. So our right foot is going to be forward, and we're trying to get our left foot is forward, and our left shin should be parallel to the front of our mat. Right foot can be back behind, kind of like a cheerleader sit if that's comfortable. If that's causing any cramping in your hip or glute, you can take that leg and slide it out to the front. You can see it's over here. We're still going to stretch this front hip, but a little bit less intensely. So whatever works for you. And again, remember that your pillow has a lot of different sides. So you can fold over that pillow and just find the stretch that you're looking for. In a restorative practice, our goal isn't necessarily to push ourselves to the limit. This is a gratitude-oriented practice, cueing our body into slowing down, appreciating movement that isn't simply as fast and as hard as you can, but instead really honoring, giving your body a moment to move slowly, to relax, and to let go of tension. You can always adjust within the time. There's no set rules here. But finding that sinking breath. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. And watch before you move. We're going to gently lift ourselves up, bring that pillow over to our side, and we're going to twist our heart towards the pillow and then either bring our forearms or our head all the way down to the pillow. So we're rotating and folding here. Again, you can straighten that back leg if it makes it a little bit more accessible and comfortable for you. Again, not trying to find an expression of the pose that makes you feel uncomfortable in a way that isn't sustainable or peaceful, but finding where you feel a rewarding stretch and then a gentle push there. Some people here do like to lay all the way down with their chest on the bolster. If that feels rewarding for your body, you're welcome to find that expression. Finding 1 more breath cycle here. And then gently using your palms to lift up. And we're going to bring our legs around all the way. So now we're going to find our right shin parallel with the front of the mat. And a sit. If pigeon is in your practice and you want to take your leg all the way back straight behind you, you're definitely welcome to do that if you feel warm enough. Otherwise, finding that same stretch we did on the other side, gently folding over your forward leg and finding the sinking breath. Whenever I think of a sinking breath, I think about the ocean. Think about the waves crashing in. And imagine that there's some writing in the sand, and with the wave retracting, it just washes it gently away. And that's what the sinking breath does for the tension. The inhale floods our body, and the exhale rinses us. Letting go of any thoughts and judgments that you no longer need to carry. Giving yourself these quiet moments to simply breathe and just be. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. As you're ready, gently using your forearms, your hands to lift up, taking that pillow behind you, and either laying down with your chest or putting your forearms onto the pillow, finding that twist on the other side. Remembering that sometimes one side is going to stretch a little different than the other, and that's okay. Just meeting our body where it's at today. And again, you do have that option to lay down with your body twisted, your chest down on your pillow. Finding 1 more breath cycle wherever you're at. And gently starting to lift yourself up. We're going to find a wide straddle next. So we're going to take our feet out to the front. And again, we can bring our cushion up on a tall side, or we can take it flat depending on our personal mobility and flexibility today. I'm going to take it taller because I like to get a little bit of a back stretch along with my hamstring stretch. So you can bring your arms out in front of it and bring your forehead down, or you can take it flat, remembering we're trying to lead with our chest not arching, but lying flat out. And then flexing your feet so their toes are pointed up to the sky, and letting yourself fold. I find that on the hamstring stretches is where I really notice the sinking breath, releasing tension, because I'm progressively able to get deeper into the stretch. So don't be afraid to change the position of your cushion so that you're able to find a rewarding stretch throughout the time that we're in this pose. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. Really allowing your body to melt forward as much as you can. We're going to gently lift up. We're going to put our pillow forward a little bit and bring your feet forward. We're just going to bring our hands right to our hips and find a reverse plank, just lifting up to lift and then lower down just to undo that forward fold. We're going to bring one leg forward. I'm going to demo from the side first. One leg's going to come forward and then our hands coming down to the elbows on the pillow, relaxing down. From the front, it looks like this. You can either be up high here. Again, finding a stretch that feels rewarding for you. You might choose to be on your elbows, or for some people, sitting up a little bit more might feel more restorative, focusing a little more on your hip rather than the outside of the right leg. And again, with that sinking breath, you might notice that as you progress, it's time to take a different expression, sink a little deeper. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. And as you gently bring your weight back to your hands, if it wasn't already there, we're going to bring our leg around. Demo from the side. We're going to either sink back into a bolstered child's pose, bringing our forehead to the bolster. You can take your knees wide if you want, or you can even bring that bolster up if that is where your body needs the support. Another option, if you have tight lats, is you could bring your hands to the bolster or your elbows and then sink back. And you can even keep your hips a little higher if that feels good. So again, we can either have our elbows on if we want that stretch through our back, or we could have our forehead down. Finding that breath through the back of our ribcage again. Really allowing the breath cycle to stretch your back. Finding 1 more breath cycle here. And then if you have your elbows down, press up through the elbows. Otherwise, bring your hands to the mat and gently press up. Our other leg is going to come forward. We got deep hip stretch. Again, coming down to the forearms, we're staying lifted. Gently finding 2 more breath cycles wherever you're at. And then lifting up to your hands if you were on your elbows. bringing that leg around and finding one more expression of your supported child's pose. Another option is you can hug it if that feels good for you. Getting a little stretch through the back. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. Gently using your hands or your elbows to lift up. We're going to bring our legs around and we're going to bring the pillow to one side. Let's do it on the left side of our mat. And we're going to lie all the way back, hugging our knees into our chest first. Gently rocking side to side if that feels good. We're going to extend the left leg long down the mat and keep the right knee to the chest. So you can gently open it to the right side. And then we're going to take your right knee all the way across the body and let it find that bolster, letting the right arm extend away. Enjoying this gentle supported twist. If you like this option, this is something you could always find in your yoga practice. If the supine spinal twist leaves your knee kind of hanging a lot, you could actually just put a block under that leg and always find a supported version of this. It's always going to make that stretch a little bit more restorative and relaxing when our limbs aren't hanging in the air. That's why we use bolsters and blocks, is it helps support and promote relaxation. With every exhale, feeling your right shoulder drop towards or into the floor, opening across the chest. And as you're ready, rolling onto your back. Be careful, I would just grab this and roll it over with you. We're going to extend the right leg long, bring the left knee to the chest, open it to the left side, and then cross it over, taking your left arm, reaching it across, gazing over the extended left arm, letting that knee find support. And of course, you always have the option to lift it a little bit higher if that's where it's best for you today. Letting every exhale sink your left shoulder towards the floor, into the mat. Finding 2 more breath cycles here. Gently rolling onto your back. You have the option to bring your knees over the bolster for your final relaxation. This can be a great option to reduce the pressure in the low back. Remembering there's a lot of different heights for it. You could also find a butterfly where your knees are supported so they're not hanging in the air as much. Whatever option feels best for you. We want our back in contact with the mat though, so we're pressing our spine into the mat. You can bring your arms open or bring one hand to the heart, one to the belly, and gently find your breath. And our final relaxation, bring your thoughts to the notion of gratitude. I saw a quote recently that said, "I thought this year would give me everything that I wanted, but instead, this year taught me to appreciate everything that I have." Perhaps you could think of this in terms of your physical body. Instead of focusing on what you want to change or modify, appreciating everything and every day that your body has carried you through. And perhaps you can turn this into your close nucleus of family and friends, the people who have supported you and stood by you, perhaps even in times you didn't know you needed them to be there. Or perhaps you could focus this on yourself, taking a moment to appreciate that you've continued to show up for yourself, for the vision of how you want to feel and live your life, for the vision of the impact you want to have on your community, your family and friends. And then taking a moment of gratitude for this moment, for being fully present in it, letting it be what it is. I'm going to finish with 3 deep breaths. We'll inhale deeply through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, let go. Last one. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that you take a moment to send some gratitude to someone or something throughout your day. As you're ready, you can gently start to wiggle fingers and toes. Take any wake up stretches your body needs. And gently make your way up to a seated posture. Thank you for joining me for a restorative yoga practice. This is kind of an intro to restorative yoga. In a traditional class, you might be in a pose for up to 5 minutes. If you wanted to make this practice what you could do is pause and start it after you've set a timer. But thank you for joining me for this practice, and I hope you have a fabulous day.